Hello, welcome to this week's episode of the Padded Room podcast, only on Patari Music. This week we are coming to you with episode 4 of this our second season. If by some odd twist of fate you've missed our previous two-part crazy episode all about rishtas and relationships and the awkward stories that people sent us, do check those out. They're hilarious and also very, very weird at sometimes. This episode is a return to our long form interview format. I grabbed a friend of mine, an acquaintance from many years ago, because he has recently starred in his first feature film. He's an actor, and his feature film is coming out soon. It is Chale The Saath. You might be already aware of this movie. It releases April 21st. You might have seen trailers, you might have seen their activity on social media, you might have seen their music videos by Sikandar Kamandar or Bell. You might have heard their soundtrack on Patari. But yeah, there's a lot of buzz about this movie, a lot of rumors about tickets being sold really, really quickly. So you might want to get onto that once you've seen the trailers, because trust me, I know people working on this movie for the past year and a half, and there's all that bias, but even all that aside, it looks really, really good. The cast looks great. The scenes are just amazing. The shot it's in, all of it's shot in the north of Pakistan, in Gilgit and Hunza, and it looks like a really interesting movie. So do check out all the stuff from the movie and our previous episodes of the Pad Room podcast right after you finish this episode 4, season 2, interview with Osama Tahir. Let's start the show. You're also in a movie that's coming out really soon. A movie that, from the looks of it, from the trailer, from the images, it looks really like a good-looking, clean, well-produced Pakistani movie. Tell me about this movie and your role in it.
Okay, this is a story of 4 friends that know each other for a very long time and end up taking a vacation up in Hunza.
Okay.
This is not a road trip film. It's not at all a road trip film, nor is it a glamour Hunza shot. Like, it's very pretty, but Hunza is not used in this film like a glamour shot. It's a character in itself.
Right. Okay.
In the film. So it's very, very essential for the plot and everything. But anyways, coming back to what it's about. So it's 4 friends who are at a very particular point in their lives in which they're okay, they're happy, ish, but as you move on, you realize that life is not just, what's the word, what's the phrase, happy and butterflies and flowers and stuff. It's not rainbows and shit. It's not like that at all. It's actually more about the people and their complexities in their lives and what they go through on a daily basis, and how one would overcome it.
Okay. So the main driving issues in this, you're saying, are maybe like daily lives and the effect that shit that happens in your life has on maybe your relationships. Would that be?
Yeah, sure. So this is relationships. This is personal struggle. This is life struggle. Not professional. In no means professional, but it's essentially each and every single character in the film, you'll see that they all have a block in front of them. And you know how we are, like we just either take it for what it is or we just crib about it. We don't do anything about it. So in every character's storyline or their arc, we see that very prominently that their problems are ignored, and then they are forced to face their problems, and then they have to overcome it.
Right.
So Faris Khalid, one of the co-actors on the film, he says it you know, he admits that it's a cliche way of putting it, but it is a journey in a sense. Like, yes, we do show that we move from one of the major cities up north to Hunza, but it is also a journey of your life. As it like life is not all that great all the time. It has its problems. It has its hiccups. It's just a matter of how you man up and move on.
Right.
I guess that's one way to put it.
Okay, you mentioned Faris Khalid. So, who are these four people that we will see? I'm assuming maybe like at the beginning of the movie. Who are the four friends?
Okay. The four friends are Sarah Sheroz, who plays Resham.
Okay.
There's Tanya, who is played by Mancha Pasha. There's myself. I play Zan. And our very chummy friend, Faraz, played by Faris Khalid.
Okay. So these are the four people that go, Tika. So you guys go to Hunza in the movie. And then for people who've seen the trailers or people who will hopefully watch the trailers after this, someone else comes in.
Yes.
Okay.
So say like when we are in Hunza, in one of the locations that we end up visiting, because थोड़ी sightseeing तो करनी जरूरी है ना जब हम Hunza में. तो वहाँ पे फिर exactly. So वहाँ पे फिर we meet Adam, who's played by Kent.
Okay.
So he is somebody who kind of like tags along this tour of Hunza. And we're a bit taken by surprise at what? Who? What? Why?
Okay, there's no link with this guy before he shows up.
No. There's no understanding of like, oh, there's certain person or whatever. It's just introduced like, oh, by the way, we have to pick up this important person on the way. So, just letting you know. And we're like, what? Who? And then we see this person and it's like, oh, Acha, you're coming with us. Why? Why are you coming with us?
Okay, so there's like some element of fiction. Even in the trailer भी ये होता है कि एक बहुत अहम साहब जो हैं वो हमें join करेंगे. I'm paraphrasing, and then people are like, कौन भाई? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happens.
Okay.
So the reason, now one of the things is that why a Chinese person in the film?
Right. Okay. This guy is Chinese. Adam is Chinese for people who
yes,
haven't
Adam
seen.
is Chinese. Right. Adam is Chinese. Kent is of Chinese descent. He's actually Canadian.
Okay.
He's a Canadian actor. Anyway, so the reason why Adam is introduced in this film is because Hunza has actually very close ties with China because of the trade routes and everything. So it's before Hunza became a major thing for Pakistan. I mean, it's been a big thing for Pakistan always, but as a touristy place and all that stuff, Hunza has been a core trading route for China to come all the way down to the south of Pakistan. So they're heavily influenced by China and the Chinese people. We have the forts, we have the architecture, which matches Chinese architecture as well. Some of the locals in Hunza speak Mandarin or Cantonese fluently. Even.
Really?
Yeah. So when we were staying in Karimabad in Hunza, Ken and I mean the entire cast, we were just walking up the marketplace.
Firstly, how different is Hunza ka Karimabad from Karachi ka Karimabad?
Oh, okay. So let me put it this way: that slight differences.
I'm guessing.
Yeah. There's no intersection and there's no smog and there's no people.
A few more trees, I would say.
Yeah. Just like a few thousand. That's it, not too many.
Sahi. Okay. So you in Kent.
Yeah. So when we were going up, one of these shopkeepers came up and was like, I started speaking to him in Mandarin.
Oh shit! Okay.
एकदम से बस उठ के ना सामने आ गया मैंड्रिन में शुरू हो गया मैं पलट के मैंने देखा मैं who is this guy why who's speaking in Mandarin
does Ken speak
now
Mandarin?
that I know the difference yeah he does
okay
so he struck a conversation with him and I think they were talking for about 10 minutes while all of us were just looking at this Pakistani guy this Hunza Gilgiti guy who's having this full-on discussion and they're cracking jokes and they're laughing and high-fiving I'm like what's going on here
shit
and then from the shopkeeper, we learned that this is a regular thing. Like Chinese people come here all the time.
Had you people been to Hunza before ever?
I think some of the other cast members have been there before, but it was the first time for me.
Okay, okay.
So I was completely blown away. Completely blown away.
Right.
Because I've seen pictures and stuff, and they do not do justice to the place. Like, no matter how good of a photographer you are, man, whatever you do, once you see it, once you stand in front of those mountains, it's a completely different feel.
Right. Anything else that you want to tell us about the story without giving too much away, obviously? Kent comes in, you guys are there, you have your own problems, this new guy shows up. Pair.
Yeah. And, well, it's also that bit where boy meets girl, girl meets boy, they fall in love kind of situation.
Right, the romance angle, TK.
Yeah, right. And, you know, as we are as a nation, that we're very closed, extremely exclusive. Like, we don't like to open up to different cultures or different people, even within our own
right.
community.
Our borders are pretty clearly defined, internal and external.
Yeah. Exactly, right? So, I mean, shamelessly, we also do it internally. So it's also about how, because we do have that idea in our mind that, you know, this is an outsider.
Oh, right.
So how do we treat an outsider?
Through a series of circumstances, Kent's character gets involved with your trip over there, and then this comes up. Okay.
Yes, obviously. So within the group dynamic, like, why is this? Who is this guy? What does he want? Yada yada yada. And then when you finally realize that, oh, okay, fine, our best friend is falling in love with this girl, this boy, so be it, whatever. But then you have the family situation, right? Where Resham's father is played by Bero Sabzwari.
Yep, one of our big, huge actors,
veterans. Yeah. Veterans in our, well, industry of sorts. So his line from the teaser actually is that when he tells him that if you want to be with Resham, then you have to learn to live in the mountains like us.
Right.
It's a very typical way of saying that, dude, you're not one of us. You have to become in order for us to accept you. So now, sure, one may say that he would have to prove himself to the father in order to get his approval and so on and so. It's also very much about, if there are differences, it's okay. It's not a problem. You know, there are certain things that by the end of it all, we're all really human. So if I really put it into a sentence of what this movie is about, it's about people and their lives and relationships. So your relationship with, say, your wife, which Ashley Zan's wife is Tanya.
Right.
Your relationship with your friends, your relationship with your bro, right, which is Faraz and Zan. They're like the boys in the film.
Okay.
Your uncle with an outsider. So it's all about people. So I wouldn't say that this is a very Hunzai film, or it's a very what's the word? I'm forgetting the word. But anyway, the point is that it's something that everyone can actually relate to very easily.
Sahi. Achha, so we're now at 5 characters, but in the trailers there's also Jale Saradi.
Yes.
She's also in the movie.
Powerhouse of a woman that she is.
Yes,
dude,
yes.
She's a crazy, crazy person. Awesome lady. So she comes in the middle of the film, and she is playing opposite Faris.
Okay. Yeah, we see that in the trailer. Say.
Yeah. So that introduction happens. I can't tell you anything about her character or what her situation is because
that would give too much away. Say it. Okay. Yeah. So six sort of leads, and as well as Behrouz Sabzwari. That's a lot of people. So there's a lot of ground to cover in this movie.
Exactly. This is it's a very complicated thing to do. It's a very ambitious thing to do, because if you have, say, even 3 or 4 people individual stories going, it gets a bit hectic. It gets a bit confusing. But the director and the ADs, with the writer, of course, when she wrote the script, they try to figure out as best they could, and I think they did a pretty good job into sustaining the storylines for everybody to congruently just reach a middle point, and then disperse
Right,
into the
right,
main
right.
what's happening.
Okay. Speaking of ambitions, let's move back a
Hmm.
bit. How did you end up in this movie? How are you an actor in movies now? Because that's
Ah,
not your, well, academic background, shall we say. You're a business student.
yes, yes, yes.
So
I
what's
am
that
a
journey?
marketeer by profession. Well, by ex-profession, if one should say.
Yeah,
Um, about 9 years ago, you know Nadir Siddiqui, yeah?
of course. I know of him. I
Right.
don't know him personally, but he's been pretty prolific ek zamane mein in the underground music scene, him and his brother.
Yes, 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 yes. The
That's where
Siddiqui
I
boy.
know of them from, yeah. 2 CD Key.
Yeah, yeah. So, so me and Nadir were actually studying accounting
Mm-hmm.
at his place, which basically means that we were chit-chatting and not studying accounting.
Okay.
So we were just sitting there, and the discussion popped up that, dude, if you could do anything, what would you do?
Okay.
Nadir asked me this question, and for some odd reason, I was like, I've never actually thought about that. I've never actually thought about it.
That's a hard
Uh,
question. It's thrown around a lot, bachpan se, but you're not really
huh.
sure when it comes to really getting to that point when you're sort of grown up. You're not sure what the answer is always too quickly.
Exactly, exactly. So, I mean, and I was like, dude, what do you mean? I mean, I guess I'd probably be doing this. He's like, yeah, but you would be doing this for money, right? So if you had all the money in the world, what would you do? I
Yeah.
was like, oh God, he's put in a condition. Now I don't know what the hell to do. And for some odd reason, it just clicked in my mind. I was like, dude, I would like to give acting a shot. I haven't done it. I haven't studied it. I just want to know what it's about.
Okay.
And I said,
Just
oh,
out of the blue.
cool. Yeah.
Okay.
So when I mean, I did always enjoy the idea. I was very fascinated by acting, even as a child. When I would see, say, a very dramatic scene where a girl is crying, like I know she's acting, I know she's not actually crying, and that fascinated me. That how is this person forcing herself to cry right now? How are these tears coming out of her eyes? How is this happening? It was a very simple thought, but it's just the idea that one can manipulate their feelings and their body in a way that seems real was fascinating to me. So by that, I thought to myself that, this is a very interesting um, thing. Like it wasn't even a concept of art in my mind. It was just something very interesting. So when now that it asked me, I was like, yeah, you know what? I'd like to try acting. A couple of days later, Nader gives me a call and he's like, listen, a friend of mine, he's doing a play. Do you want to go and audition? Well, no, actually, no, not a couple of days. It was the same day.
Oh
Yeah, it
shit.
was the same. Yeah. He's like, a friend of mine's doing a play. Do you want to audition for him? I was like, no, no, don't be silly. But I can't act. I'm not gonna act. He's like, no, just go, give it a shot. What's the worst that could happen? He's gonna reject you, right? So you're not gonna do the play, which is what you're doing now. You're not doing the play. I was like, okay, fine, fair enough. Nadir has a way of cornering you when
Right.
it comes to stuff like this.
Right.
So I was like, okay, fine, sure, fine, I'll go. So he persuaded me to go and audition. And so I did. I auditioned for two parts, I think, and I got one part
Okay.
or a part. So, that was my first time acting 9 years ago.
Okay. And have you been
9 years
doing
ago.
this since then? Regularly?
I've been
Semi-regularly?
doing this. I've been doing this very on and off. So whenever I would get the chance, I would do some readings. I would, act in the school play. That was not my own school, God forbid, because some school and all. So other schools like Zabas, I knew a few people over there who needed some. I think I did a short film once. I rehearsed, prepared for a play, and then I forgot that I had an exam on the day of the play.
Nice.
So I was like, oh God, I can't do this. Yeah, all sorts of crazy has happened. So on and off, kept doing it. And then recently, in the past 4 years, I've been doing a play almost every year or
Okay.
every lesson year. So yeah,
पाकिस्तान में
yeah. But
पाकिस्तान
then,
में प्ले सीन काफी ऑन है for the past like at least decade or so. We're seeing
yeah,
theater shows that are doing tours of the country, long runs. So it seems like
uh,
there's potential and demand.
यार देखो सिलसिला ये है जहाँ पर मुझे लगता है थिएटर का जो है people just don't know what theater is anymore. Like उनको बस पता नहीं होगा theater बोलते हैं उनके ज़हन में उमर शरीफ आता है.
Right, stage show.
Quite honestly, yeah, stage show उनके ज़हन में आता है कि यार ये तो उमर शरीफ करता है. Like they have no concept of what a stage play can be or what it should be or can be or whatever, right? Because good on Umar Sharif, back in his days, he did something that hit mainstream.
By people, you mean obviously the mainstream people, not people who frequent arts council.
No, of course, of course not, because there are what, like maybe 200-300 people who are members,
right,
of arts council, maybe 500 members in Napa or 1,000 arts council. That's nothing, right? That's like not even a percentage.
Country of 200 million.
Yeah, exactly. A couple of thousand go and watch it. So it's not a thing. So we have plays that happen every weekend in Karachi. Every weekend. Not a single weekend goes by when a play is not happening. Due to marketing reasons or financial reasons or production reasons, they just don't get to hit the major promotioning aspects to let people know that such and such is happening to come.
So unless you have a big name. If there's limited mainstream interest, तो फिर sponsors को भी फिर motivate करना मुश्किल होगा.
बिल्कुल. So if you have a big name with you, जिस तरह अनवर मकसूद साहब हैं.
Yeah.
जब उन्होंने उनके नाम से जब 14 अगस्त आया था, it's like, oh my God, Anwar Maqsood wrote a play. Oh no, yes, we must do this. So people ran, like it was full, and that's why they even got the ability, the courage to go and do this throughout the country, meaning our 3 cities in the country.
Yeah, I think they came to Dubai also.
Yeah, and then they came to Dubai.
Yeah.
And then it became a trend almost that you do the 3 cities of Pakistan, then you hit Dubai. I think, I don't remember which play it was, but I think one play also went up to London.
Acha, okay. But again, you're saying that this is sort of more like establishment factors also played into it. It's harder for a new person who's not, for example, Anwar Maqsood to pull this off.
The situation is so crazy that, okay, so you know about Napa, yeah?
Yeah.
So you know the artists from Napa who've been at it for the past decade, like literally a decade that they've been doing this.
Sure.
They haven't been able to hit it big. And they're really good, and they're known in the theater fraternity. Like, known people, big people, to small people. Everybody knows who, say, for example, Sunil Shankar is, or Fawad Khan from theater is.
Right.
From Napa.
Not our other Fawad Khan.
No, not that one. So they know that, these guys are super creative and really talented people in writing, directing, and acting the works. They know it all.
Right.
And even they struggle with it. Even they struggle with how to promote their plays, how to get sponsors, how to get people to walk in and, sit in the seats and watch the plays, understand the plays, and so on and so forth. It's a different situation. So it's all about the pull of a celebrity. If you have that pull, then people will come.
That's the easiest way, I guess, because word of mouth or actual publicity doesn't really always seem to work in Pakistan, where people aren't as theater literate or theater aware.
Exactly. They're just not interested. It's like, oh, I'd say they don't know what it is, so they're like, why should I go there and do this? Like, I don't feel the need to do this.
Right.
But when you know who it is, like Anwar Maqsood, even I got excited. I'll be very honest. I got very excited.
Of course. We know, everyone knows Anwar Maqsood going back 30 years at least.
Yeah, exactly. When Angan, I think the first piece of writing that I saw of his was Angan Deda.
Acha, so you did plays then?
On and off, because I had a day job, because I was doing marketing. So when you're working for an agency, or if you're a marketing manager of a company, you're working usually till 7, 8 in the night. And then you're just too tired. So you just work. So I try to pull it off on and off. In between jobs, whenever there was a sabbatical episode, I would try to fill it in with the play. Till then one day what happened was that my friends, Ara Junejo and Nader at the time, they were aiding for the film.
This movie?
Yeah, for Chala Disa.
Right. Which not
And
Nader
I
Siddiqui
was
or Nader Shahzad?
sorry, not this Shazam, not this Shazam.
Right. There are too many Naders.
Yeah, and
Right.
also my brain is fried at the moment,
Say.
being up from 6.
Acha,
So
so they're on their 80s, they're on the gig. This is early stages of like
this is
pre-production.
way, yeah, this is way back. I think this was sometime November, December of 2015.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, it was something like that. So they had casted almost everybody except for one character, which was my character, which I played.
Then.
They just couldn't find the right for Zen. So they just couldn't find the right actor to fit the role. कुछ ना कहीं से कुछ lacking था, कुछ कहीं से it just wasn't working out for them.
Right. Even if it's not like maybe something was lacking, it's just that sometimes the feel doesn't come across in these auditions from what I've heard, from what I've read.
Yeah. Exactly. That was precisely it. Like it wasn't a matter of money or anything of the sort like
Right.
that. Like it was just that they saw it and they were like, man, it's just not. The director said that he just didn't see it fit.
Right. He probably had an impression already in his mind, and he wanted someone to walk into that impression.
Yeah. That, and also when you have TV actors and you see them perform in a particular way again and again on TV,
Now,
that I think also hinders. हाँ, वो भी एक impression मेरा ख्याल है वो एक रह जाता है. It hinders the director or the actor to showcase, he can do better, because we do have great actors.
Yeah.
We have fantastic actors. But if you don't get the opportunity to showcase it, then it just becomes a problem. So anyways, it just wasn't working out. So Arad Janejo was sitting on a sofa at a friend's place, and he was on the phone. He's like, yeah, dude, we got to find this guy. We got to do something. And I overheard that they hadn't casted as yet.
Okay, this was happening. You were there when they were talking about this.
Yeah. I was just. This was at a separate place. This was not at the office. This was somewhere else altogether.
Right.
So I just blurted out, I'll audition. And Arad looks at me, he's like, dude, just shut up, man. I'm working here, man. Can you not fool around? I'm working.
Right.
That's fine. Then after a few minutes later, then I was just messing with them. I was like, dude, I'll actually audition. I'm not even kidding. So out of frustration, Arad just got up and left the room.
So he was stressed.
A couple of days. Yeah, he was actually stressed about something, and he thought I was messing around, which I was. I was pulling his leg.
Right.
2 days later, I get a call from him. He's like, listen, Osama, would you actually like to audition? I was like, yeah, of course. Why not? He's like, actually. I'm like, yeah. Yes, I'll audition. I don't mind.
Are you still doing your day job at this point?
No, I am not.
Okay.
Not
fine.
anymore. So I went, I auditioned, and yeah, it worked out.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
You got the part.
I got the part.
Did you expect to get the part, or did you just go in open-minded?
No, not at all. I just went in for gags, really.
Right.
Just, like, I auditioned for a film, tick mark. Which is what happened. And when they saw me, so the director's like, yeah, that was good. All right, thank you so much. All right, so we'll let you know soon. Yeah? I was like, okay, yeah, it didn't work out. It's fine, whatever. And then I think a week later, they called me in again for a second audition.
Watch out.
And
so what's an audition like? Like, do you do it with the other actors, or just someone do a stand-in and they do a read?
It's a reading. But it's they give. So what happened with me was that they gave me the script. And one of the ADs was reading the second part, and I was reading Zan's character. I think it was Faraz's character that was being read with me. I don't remember. But so it was. They just gave it to me, gave me about 10-15 minutes to read the scene and understand what it is and everything, and just asked me to rehearse of a sort, just audition in front of them with the script in my hand. And so when I did it like that, they were like, yeah, it's all right, okay, we'll let you know.
Right.
I was like, fine. Damn it. I think I messed it up. Which was fine. But then a week later, they called me in again. And they're like, okay, so we're going to give you a chunkier part, and we want you to really showcase a range of emotions.
Right.
I was like, okay, interesting. Fine, sure. So I prepped for it a tad bit, and I started doing it. But then what happened was that I got stuck with the lines. I kept looking down for the lines, and then I would perform. Then I look down, and I was performing because I'm not a very seasoned actor, obviously.
Right.
So then the director was like, "Listen, you know what? You know the situation. Improvise. Just you know what's going to happen after what. Just make up your own words. In fact, make up even a scenario is seen on your own, and just do it. I just want to see your range."
Right.
Who does that? I was like, okay, sure, I'll do it. And I think I was most comfortable in that situation. So the audition went really well, to which the director got really excited. He was like, okay, all right. This is really good. This is really good. Okay, we can work with this. We can work with
Really,
this.
right there when you were there.
Yeah, in front of me, he was pacing back and forth, and he's like, yeah. He's looking down, his finger is on his lip, and he's just repeating this. He's like, yeah, this is good, this is good, this is good. I'm like, okay, fine. But even then, he was like, okay, so you know what? We're going to get back to you. We're still going to get back to
Of course. Okay.
you. So when I left, that's when I told myself, all right, I'll give it 2 days for them to get back to me. And if they don't, then I guess I didn't get the part. So 5 days go by,
Oh shit.
and I didn't get yeah, I didn't get a call. And I was slightly depressed. I was slightly let down. I was like, yeah, come on,
Oh,
man.
because you went
I was
in
happy.
twice.
Exactly. I went in twice, and the director was excited about it too, right?
Right,
When
right.
he saw me, he was like, "Dude, this is." He was happy with it. So I was like, "Okay, all right, okay. It's okay, man. If it didn't work out, it didn't work out. Maybe next time, whatever." Meanwhile, I was also visiting production houses and stuff for TV work. So I was like, if this didn't work out, it's okay. I'll just eventually do a film after I do a bunch of TV series. I suppose. That's the general progression for a newbie.
But at this point, you were
And
you were invested like on a mental level. Okay, okay, this is what I want to try and do for real. Be an actor.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I think roughly 6 months before that is what I was doing is that I was still working, but I had a part-time situation happening. Excuse me. So I didn't need to be there all the time. It was more like a consultancy kind of situation, which I had cracked a deal.
Right.
So I could actually go and audition, go meet people, give my priority to the process of getting acting work. So I was like, all right, fine. You know what? If the film isn't going to work out, I'll just hopefully get a TV job. And I was sitting at a brunch at a friend's, and I get a call, and it was the producer, Beanish, on the line.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, hi, Osama, do you have a minute? I'd like to talk to you about something. I was like, yeah, sure. I'll just step outside real quick. I'm like, yeah, what's up? How can I help you? She's like, okay, so we just had some news for you, and oh hell, we'll just tell you, you got the part.
Oh
Congratulations.
shit.
I'm like, what? What? And then I
Zabardast.
just went all giggity, and I'm started jumping around, and I'm trying to be really cool at the same time. My voice is completely still and calm. Oh, all right, thank you so much. Meanwhile, I'm jumping around, my hands are flaring in the air. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how it happened. That's how I got it.
Okay, Zabardast. And then how? What was? So you got the part. Everything's amazing. How was
Hmm.
the actual process of going there, shooting? What was that like?
Okay, so we started off with rehearsals and a bunch of readings,
Hmm.
which I'm told is not a regular practice in the industry.
Acha.
What they do, जैसे टीवी में क्या होता है वो आपको premise बता देते हैं और आपको script एक episode की दे देते हैं और कहते हैं कि आप देख लें कर लें और जब वो ज़्यादा comfortable हो जाते हैं they just give you the script on location 5 minutes before the scene and expect you to perform.
Right.
That's how it is. Like they don't do readings, they don't do rehearsals. There's no as such blocking. None of that is actually happening on TV. Only the really good ones invest their time into stuff like this. So Omar Adil, the director, was very particular about it. He's like, no, we will have rehearsals. No, we will do readings. We will do all of this. And he also had Arun Juneja on board as the acting coach for the film.
Acha.
So he was very adamant on rehearsals. He was like, I have to pull this off. These scenes are strong. All the actors have to know exactly how the other actor is going to respond to them. They have to understand their feel.
Right,
because
because if the main shooting's going to happen in Hunza, you'd like the sort of interpersonal chemistry to be set before you go there.
yeah, exactly, because the timeline was also very, very tight.
Right, and time is money.
Exactly, a lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot, especially when you take we were over 100 people of crew that was in Hunza for 45 days.
Say, sabka
So yeah,
transport, lodging,
every,
daily expenses.
all of that, just massive amounts of money. So we shot, I think, roughly 3 to 5 days in Karachi, about a week, 10 days in Gilgit, and then 45 days in Hunza.
Okay.
And Hunza is, uh, it's a beautiful place, but outdoor shooting is just insane. It's really difficult.
How so?
So Hunza is at 7,000 feet height,
Okay.
right, from sea level, and there's no pollution. There's no light pollution. There's no smoke. There's no smog. There's no dust. There's nothing, right?
Must be
So being
weird.
7,000 must be very, very weird. So being 7,000 feet up in the air, the sun was a lot more harsh.
Right, because the
There
sky
was
is
no
clear.
The sky's super clear.
Hmm.
So it was really harsh. So what was happening is that we were there in May and June. Yeah, we were there in May and June. We were expecting like I don't know, 15 to 20 degrees, maybe 25 at most, and the temperature actually rose up to 35 degrees one day.
Really?
So actually hot, like burning hot. Like I need shade, I need water, I need some limu pani. I need to hydrate myself. Like this is not working
Right, right.
because most of the shoot, most of the film is shot outdoors.
Huh.
I'd say around like 80% of the film is shot outdoors, and that too in the day. So it got really, really hectic because there are times that you have to wait between scenes. There are angle changes happening, so there are 2-3 hours where you just had to wait outside. You can't really leave location because it wasn't always close to the hotel.
Say.
So a lot of complications like that. It was a really tough shoot, and all these guys really pulled it off in a great way, great way. And the other really complicated thing about the weather is that, for example, you're shooting and you're shooting for about an hour in the sun. 10 minutes later, it'll be completely cloudy.
Okay.
Like to the point, like you cannot shoot anymore because there's such a staunch difference between the scenes.
Right.
So then you'd have to wait because it started raining. So now if it's raining, now what do you do? 15 minutes later, sky's clear. So really haphazard, extremely haphazard weather patterns in Hunza.
Say. I guess this is like one of the challenges of on-location shooting. Like you're not in a studio or whatever. Acha.
And that too up in the mountains.
Yeah.
Because even if you do it in a place like Karachi, you understand the weather patterns, right? You understand that there's no rain happening for another year, and it's okay.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. So it got really complicated for us over there.
Okay.
But it was great. It was a lot of fun. Super fun.
Okay. So what's the process like? So you shoot there for 45 days. What happens after that?
So we shot for 45 days. That happened. And then I think there was a day's shoot in Karachi after that, which the spell happened, I think, a month later, because of Eid and everything in the way. So they had to wait it out for it to end, and then we shot. Oh yeah, fun fact. Last 3 days in Hunza, I started to feel sick.
Oh, good. That's always great.
Sick to the point. Yeah, absolutely. And sick to the point where my stomach was extremely upset.
Gotcha.
Now, I was thinking what I'd been eating, because in Hunza, there isn't really much to eat.
Right.
So the only thing that the cast and the crew, what we would do is have tikka, कीमा, शायद नान अगर आपको मूड हो रहा हो, उनके पुलाव जो है is really just boiled rice with a bit of flavor. So that wasn't really anything,
simple
but
food.
Very simple food, delicious food, but very simple food. So most of the time, what we would do is just have tikka and keema in Hunza, and everybody was having the same food. So I didn't understand why my stomach was off. On the very last day, we were shooting the entire day and the entire night. And then as soon as we wrapped up the shoot, we had a flight to catch 3 hours later.
Acha.
So it was really, really hectic and really crazy. So when I got to the Islamabad airport, I really had to go to the bathroom.
Right.
Like really badly. I was
this is the sort of stuff I want on my podcast. the real stories.
So I didn't understand what was happening. I started to feel feverish. I'm like, oh God, did I get food poisoning? How the hell did I get food poisoning? So from there, I finally come back to Karachi, and then I get to have a home cooked meal after almost a month and a half, or more than a month and a half.
Say.
And I think it was dal chawal keema, or tel wala keema, na, matlab zabardast wala keema.
Right.
And I had that, and that just wouldn't go down. It just would not go down. I was like, what's wrong? Why am I gassy? What's going on? I didn't understand. Till I eventually puked.
Oh, no.
So when it all came out, I'm like, okay, definitely something is wrong with me. I don't know what it is, but something's off. So I went to the doctor. I told the doctor, I'm like, dude, I feel something's off with my chest, but my stomach's really upset, and, I vomited. So I don't understand what's happening. So he gave me this broad spectrum antibiotic for 5 days. So just have this, you'll be fine. You came from Hunza. It happens. It's okay. You'll be okay. So I'm eating antibiotics, strong antibiotics for 5 days straight. And my fever is not going away.
Okay.
And my sickish feel is not going away. Lo and behold, on the 5th day, when my fever has now broken and I'm still feeling sick and I still can't eat much, I go to the doctor and I talk to him, and he's like, why don't you get yourself an LFT?
What's that?
Excuse me? Liver function test.
Okay.
I'm like, why do you want me to get an LFT? He's like, your eyes look a bit yellow.
Oh, no.
I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Turns out I contracted hepatitis A from Hunza.
Why? That's a water-based disease, I think?
It can also be with food. I was having regular mineral water that everybody was, and I was having the same food as everybody. Like we never had dinners or lunches alone.
Right.
We always ate and drank together. So I just could not, till date, I have no idea how I got it.
Bro, I think it's like a sazish tumhare khilaf. I'm just gonna put this up there that someone tried to poison you. Performance बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छी थी.
Exactly.
People were like, this cannot continue. ये बंदा bad scene कर देगा बाकी industry के लिए. अच्छा, okay. But shit, hepatitis.
Thankfully, it happened right at the end. Thankfully, it happened at the end. God forbid had it happened in the middle, man, I wouldn't be able to work.
Yeah, makeup would have been weird.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be the other Chinese guy.
Right. Oh no, that's not staying.
Sorry, I love you, bro. Yeah.
Teak. So, Pear, what's the publicity tour like then? After all this stuff is done, you guys have been making a lot of appearances, at least on social media. I'm not in Pakistan, so I don't know what's happening on ground. But how did that go for Pakistani movies, or for your experience, at least?
Well, we still need to understand how to promote our films, because I don't think the industry has really understood how to promote films just yet. Primarily because we don't have a lot of avenues to promote. That's the other problem. जिस तरह कराची में आजकल billboards खत्म हुए हैं, billboards नहीं है हमारे पास, right?
Only on Shara Faisal, I heard, yeah, overall.
Oh, in city.
Oh, no shit. Achha.
Yeah. All of Karachi has no billboards.
Okay.
Because of that, a lot of advertisers have resorted to a lot of print work.
Right.
For magazines and newspapers and stuff.
Okay.
And they've also resorted to advertising on buildings. The on-building जो screens होती हैं, they're cheating their way through. Like billboard नहीं है तो building पे लगा दिया उन्होंने.
Right.
उस तरह. But because we're lacking in avenues to promote ourselves, like we don't have a lot of monuments to go and visit. People don't like to walk on the roads, obviously. Generally,
there's no pedestrian culture.
Exactly, right? So it's not like, oh, let's just go to a park and do an activity. I mean, कर सकते हैं, बिल्कुल कर सकते हैं, मगर एक क्योंकि हम खुद इतने familiar नहीं है उस culture का,
Right.
तो वो फिर उसको incorporate करना promotions के लिए, marketing के लिए, and then also for security reasons and फलाना ढमकाना दुनिया सारा.
There's a whole set of challenges.
Yeah, so I don't think we've figured that out just yet.
Okay.
So what films such that I've seen so far that they've tried to promote is usually just TV promotions.
Okay. Because
Brand
lots of
endorsement.
films are also linked with TV channels.
Yes. So what happens is that most of the films that have come out, they've been associated to a TV network who has a distribution wing.
Sahi hai.
Like Airway Network has Airway Films, Geo has Geo Films, Hum TV has Hum Film.
Yeah.
So that's one way of promoting it, right? So what they do is, see, the problem with that is कि अगर मैंने Airway Films के साथ sign up कर लिया है, तो वो सिर्फ Airway पे मेरा promo चलेगा और कहीं नहीं चलेगा.
Right, because channels का आपस में भी competition है.
Exactly. तो एक अजीब सी situation हो जाती है, right? So the film doesn't get promoted across all channels,
right?
Which I think is really weird. Like, why is this such a thing? Why is this such a clause for our distributors? Like, why do they lock it down?
But our channels are sort of territorial. Like, even when there is news about another channel, they don't refer to them by name and stuff like that.
Chalo, that I still understand, right? यहाँ पे तो बात हो रही है कि you're gonna make money. The more money you make is the more you promote the film, right? So promote the films on other channels so other people get to see it, and then they'll come and watch the movie, and then it's a
maybe other channels don't let them because
they don't.
There's sort of that territorialism.
हाँ, वो वहाँ पे घंटा करते हैं क्योंकि अगर Airway Films का लोगो आ रहा है तो हम टीवी बोलेगा नहीं, आपका लोगो नहीं लग सकता.
Right.
So
I think ये better हो जाएगा as and when we get more and more movies. I mean,
exactly.
If one channel has like 3 or 4 movies coming out a year, उनका अपना ad space कितना वो लेंगे?
बिल्कुल. Now, like for us, we haven't signed on a network.
अच्छा.
So the way that we're trying to promote this is we have a brand on board.
Okay.
Pepsi, and they're supposed to handle all the marketing, all the paid content, all the marketing collateral by them.
Okay.
So that's another avenue. So like
that's a good sponsor to have, वैसे specifically Pakistan में Pepsi has a good brand image value situation going.
Yeah, sure. अब जिस तरह Coke ने किया था होमन जहां के लिए.
अच्छा, right? Okay, so I wasn't aware, but okay.
Yeah, it was heavily sponsored by Coke.
Sahi.
A lot of endorsements and product placement and everything within the film.
Right.
For the collateral. Similarly, that's what Pepsi has done. So, ab ye hai ke that's a very good way because then the brand has the budgets to put the promo out everywhere.
Right.
And you're not locked down by one channel. So that's one avenue. Now, this is something I think Homan Jahan still had a network on board. I think. Okay. I don't remember. Excuse me. So since we don't, I think we're the first ones to try something like this. So let's see, right? This is what I'm saying, that we don't. I don't think we've understood because of a lot of trial and errors that need to happen. We haven't understood on how to market our films, on how to spread it out across the board so everybody can get to see the promos so they can come and watch the films.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, radio shows ho gaye, morning shows ho gaye.
No, but what have you guys done? Like specifically, what sort of things has your team been involved in?
As in the cast?
Yeah, the cast, the crew. तुम लोग क्या कर रहे हो अपनी मूवी के लिए?
Okay, so जिस तरह हम जो कर रहे हैं, did you see the video that went up today?
Yep. I see a lot of social media activation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is just stuff that we do on our own.
Okay.
Whatever that we would like to talk about, we just do.
Right.
Those who don't want to, that's also okay. I mean, it's entirely a personal thing.
Okay.
So then we decided a couple of days ago that, why don't we just do something fun ourselves, for ourselves? Like, it's not really, it's not like we're paid by anyone to do this more. It's just something that we want to do ourselves.
Okay.
So I came up with the concept, and Kent came up with the intro scripting. The video that's been up right now, where we're all passing the camera behind us again and again, that's something that he directed and wrote.
Okay.
So basically what's going to happen is that we want to interlink our Instagram stories with each other.
Right.
So for example, if I have something to say, so I'm going to tag you, Ali, asking a question. So you get to respond on your story. And then you can tag a following question to Sarfraz.
Right.
And Sarfraz will have to answer. So what that can do, we don't know yet, we're going to try it out, is would people be interested to follow all of us?
Right. It is cool.
Right?
It's a good concept.
I mean, we're going to give it a shot. We're going to see. Even if it doesn't work, that's okay, because we just want to do it for ourselves anyway. Just something interesting for our current followers to see, rather than the constantly, hey guys, come watch our film. Hey guys, 21st April. Hey guys, that's annoyingly boring.
Right.
There's only so much that you can do. So just to switch it up, just to change around, we're going to try something new from tomorrow.
Okay.
So yeah, one of the small things.
Okay.
And then of course doing a podcast by a friend of yours who lives in Ireland.
Right, of course. I think that should become quickly the industry standard. I think we're going to see. Hopefully going forward, I think that's going to happen. So when does the movie actually finally come out?
It's releasing throughout Pakistan on 21st of April.
21st of April. Okay. ठीक है. And
we do plan on doing international releases as well.
Yes, I was going to ask.
Yeah. We do plan on Dubai. We do plan on London. We do plan on North America. We do plan on China.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
We can talk about China too.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm not sure, also Australia. I'm not sure about that.
Okay, hitting all the proper Desi audience spots, as you should.
Exactly. Yeah. So somebody told me, I think it was one of the critics who interviewed us a couple of weeks back. He told us that a Pakistani film was released in China about 20 years ago.
Okay.
Or 30 years ago, right? 30 years ago, a Pakistani film was released, which ran in the cinemas for 17 years.
What?
17 years that movie ran.
Holy shit. Do you know the name? Do you remember?
I don't. I have no idea.
Okay.
I just got lost in 17 years.
Oh, shit.
Like, how would somebody want to watch any film for 17 years?
Either they really liked it or that cinema had nothing else.
Yeah. No, but see, that's what they were telling us, that it was a fascination of a foreign film in China.
Right.
Because China has a very strict rules and regulations.
Yeah, they've only, even for Hollywood movies, they've only recently started opening up. And maybe there's a lot of requirements that, that portion has to be filmed in China, yeah, Chinese actor ho, yeah, aisa kuch, which is why Michael Bay is doing so much stuff with Transformers in China. Right.
So Alibaba Films, right? So that's why these production companies are now hitting Hollywood, because now because they see the massive revenues to be made.
Yeah. Okay.
So Kent is connected with the industry in China. So he was telling me that an annual quota is given of 30 films.
I've heard this. Jo bilkul fully foreign ho, unless, but you can get in outside of that if there's some Chinese involvement.
Exactly. So that's an angle that can be played. So we're trying to see if we can release the film in China.
Oh, that would be great,
Thus far, a lot of Kent's fans on Instagram and Facebook who are Chinese from China, they've been very interested in the trailer. They've been interested in the film.
Yeah, and he's not even just like part of the crew. He's like one of the main lead personalities.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He's not like a side role at all. He's very integral. He's one of the leads. So yeah. So let's see what happens. Let's see.
Shit, man. I hope it all works out. Okay. Chalo.
Thanks.
So it's been a bit over an hour, and we'll sort of bring it down to a shorter length. But thank you so much, Osama Tahir, for taking time out of your budding
Thank you.
celebrity situations.
Oh,
Now I
it's
hope this only increases and gets better for you, and I hope the movie comes out here too, so that I can get to watch it. Because I've been through sort of vicariously through you, and also through talking to Nader, I've been following the goings on of this movie's production for as long as it's been going on, pretty much.
yeah,
So
yeah.
good seeing it, man. I really hope this movie does well. It looks amazing. The trailers look great. The songs are out on Patari Music as of this
Yes,
week,
yes,
I think.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So and they also sound amazing. Acha, गानों क्या scene है? Are they like songs, or do you wanna? You don't have to answer this if you don't want to. But are they like more
No, I mean you
environmental?
can cut out you can cut out some stuff. I
Ah,
mean it's
sure.
not that.
Are they more
Um,
like environmental, or are they like a proper Ghana where people are singing?
no, there's no lip singing, there's no dancing,
Right.
no synchronized choreography, none
So
of
it's more
that.
like a soundtrack kind of soundtrack, not like an actual.
It is it is like a soundtrack, and it's also situational.
Right.
For example, if something's happening, then a scene is created around the song, which still is in link with the story.
Sahi. Okay. Then
Right? So it's not like
in the trailer,
yeah,
there's a song by Bell and Sikandar Kamandir, so that's sort of like
yeah,
environmental situations.
right, right. So for those are environmental situations. There's a song by Muru which I will not tell you about.
Okay.
That's a very that's a very interesting. That's very interestingly shot.
Okay.
So yeah,
ठीक है.
it's done everything in the film one way or another has been done in a different way.
Okay. And it
So
looks
yeah,
really amazing. Like it looks pretty as hell.
thank
So
you.
I hope it does well. I hope you do well. इसमें तो नहीं है, but I hope to see you in like a song and dance situation in the future. That's going to be interesting.
Right.
But
I'll do it just to tick it off my box of things that why did I do
ठीक है,
it?
फिर टाइम बना लेना, because उसके बाद एक और पॉडकास्ट सिर्फ उस सीन पे भी होना ही होगा फिर.
सही ठीक
But all right,
ठीक.
man. Thanks a lot for taking
Thank
the
you,
time
bro.
to
Thank
do
you.
this.
Thank you.
Best of luck for the future and for your movie. Everyone listening, Osama, do you want to shout out your social media things right now? Do you want to do that?
I am on Instagram. It's at Osama Tahir, OSAMATAHIR. And on Facebook, I am shamelessly as Osama Tahir Official.
Oh my God, official.
Yes, yes. Yo, I hate that. I hate it. I hate it so much. I don't understand why it's such a necessity for actors to put on official in their Facebook.
हाँ, because people make fan pages too. ना अभी आपके भी बनेंगे, and then it's gonna be
अरे बन
Osama
जाए
Tahir.
यार.
But then ये होगा ना कि Osama Tahir ने ये बड़ी racist बात कर दी, and people are like, Osama Tahir, why did you say this? I'm like, no, bro, it wasn't me. How do we know? That's why you have to be official.
Yeah,
Games
yeah,
बहुत
right.
ज़्यादा हैं. अच्छा, how do people find
Uh,
out about the movie? Does the movie have social media and stuff? I'm sure.
yes, yes, you. So it's Chalete Saat on Instagram and on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah,
Soundtrack
yeah,
on
yeah.
Patari, Osama Tahir on Instagram, and Osama Tahir
Yeah.
official on Facebook. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for doing this,
Thank you.
and I hope to get you on this again for some other project of yours.
For sure, for sure, for sure.
All right, buddy. Take care.
All right, take it. Bye, guys.